Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into your ultimate 2027 survival guide for search visibility. Because honestly, the rules of the game have completely changed. I mean, being found is really just part of the challenge now. Today, we're going to look at what it actually takes to make your brand understood, trusted, and cited across a fundamentally transformed search landscape.
Look, we've got to start with a massive, somewhat disruptive wake-up call here. Because right now, your page can earn a top organic position, but that traditional #1 spot, it just doesn't guarantee traffic anymore. You can do literally everything right by the old playbook, secure that top ranking, but
an AI overview might just swoop in and answer the query right above you. Or a user might find you on ChatGPT without ever even triggering a visit to your website. A potential customer might discover you on YouTube, Reddit, or TikTok without even opening Google. The reality is, your brand can get mentioned in generative AI all day long without a single referral session ever showing up in your analytics.
check out this staggering number. 68%. Zero-click searches now account for 68% of U.S. Google searches based on SparkToro's recent data. Think about that for a second. The vast majority of queries now end without a single click to a website. They're just being resolved directly on the search engine results page.
And honestly, the culprit here is crystal clear. Google's AI overviews are now reaching over 2.5 billion people a month. That fundamentally shifts the visibility problem we're trying to solve. I mean, Google's AI mode passed 1 billion monthly users in its very first year. So we're no longer just trying to snag a click, we have to figure out how to actually exist within the answer layer itself.
Okay, so here's our game plan to survive and thrive in this new zero-click ecosystem. We'll cover AI answer engines, content and EEAT, modern brand authority, technical non-negotiables, and wrap up with an adaptive strategy. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Optimizing for AI answer engines.
The crucial takeaway right out of the gate is that traffic from generative AI tools is just exploding. We saw AI-referred U.S. retail traffic grow 693% year-over-year recently. And what's even better, those AI-referred visitors converted at a 31% higher rate. That's massive. Tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity are handling all this heavy lifting: research, comparison, purchasing, tasks that used to take 5 or 6 Google searches. The signal here is loud and clear. AI-referred traffic converts, and it converts incredibly well.
So how do we adapt? Well, you've got 3 immediate action items. First, you need to audit how large language models are actually mentioning you, or, if they're ignoring you entirely. Just prompt ChatGPT and Perplexity with your category queries and screenshot those responses every month. Second, treat brand consistency as a literal ranking factor. If your site, Wikipedia, and Crunchbase all have conflicting info, you're just going to confuse the models. And third, get tracking. Make sure you're tracking these AI refers in Google Analytics 4, and definitely utilize Google's Search Generative AI performance reports.
Moving on to part 2, rethinking content and EEAT. Forget the old days of obsessing over single keywords. Today, AI rewards comprehensive entity coverage. You really need to think in terms of entity clusters and query fan-out. Basically, every topic has a core entity right at the center, surrounded by subtopics and questions radiating outward. If your content only hits the center, you're totally losing visibility on the edges. You've got to build content that addresses the user's entire journey, creating clear hierarchies so the search engines understand exactly how all this information fits together.
Okay, here's the ultimate irony of SEO in 2027. To win over the machines, you actually have to prove how deeply human you are. Search engines are desperate for first-hand judgment, content written by someone who has actually been in the trenches, not just a bot hallucinating facts. So update those author bios with verifiable credentials. Implement rigorous fact-checking, especially if you're in the your money or your life space. Add last updated dates, use rock-solid primary citations, and get quotes from actual recognized experts. Who wrote your content is a huge deal now.
Which brings us to Section 3, Building Modern Brand Authority.
This Ahrefs data, it is an absolute game changer. They looked at 75,000 brands and found that branded web mentions correlate way more strongly with AI overview visibility than traditional backlinks do. Just look at the difference here. We're talking a 0.664 correlation for branded mentions versus just a 0.218 for backlinks. YouTube mentions were even stronger. So while links definitely still matter, brand presence is what actively feeds the AI.
That means your absolute priority right now is building a brand presence that feeds those citations. You do this by heavily prioritizing digital PR. Go out and earn coverage through original research and expert commentary, regardless of whether you get a hyperlink or not.
You need to keep an eagle eye on unlinked brand mentions, because AI models pick up on those entity associations anyway. Get your subject matter experts quoted on podcasts and industry publications wherever you can. Stop throwing money at link placements on low-authority sites, and focus on making your brand an obvious, inevitable citation.
All right, let's talk tech. Section 4, Technical SEO in 2027.
You literally cannot ignore your core web vitals or your mobile experience anymore. Search engines care deeply, and I mean deeply, about sending people to sites that are actually pleasant to use. They want happy users. So you need to compress those images into modern formats like WebP or AVIF. Get rid of the unused JavaScript that's bogging everything down. Implement lazy loading, and for the love of good UX, reserve space for your dynamic content so your page layout isn't jumping all over the place while people are trying to read.
And honestly, you can't even say the words technical SEO today without talking about structured data. It used to be this nice little bonus. Now, it's a non-negotiable direct translation for AI. If you're running an audit, make sure your product pages have rating and price schema. Articles need author and headline schema. Local businesses, you absolutely need hours and services schema. This is what helps AI parse your content accurately. We've seen case studies where Rotten Tomatoes saw a 25% higher click-through rate, and Nestle had an 82% higher click-through rate just from properly implementing structured data.
Finally, let's pull the whole shebang together. Section 5. The Adaptive Marketing Strategy.
Look, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all these changes, I totally get it. Take a breath. Just start right here. Fix these 4 critical things in this exact order, and you will immediately modernize your search presence. 1. Refresh your dated content. Pages with old dates bleed trust. 2. Audit your AI visibility so you actually know how these models see you. 3. Close those EEAT gaps with solid bios and citations. And 4. Strengthen your structured data.
And please remember, SEO is not just some siloed IT thing anymore. It touches everything. Your SEO team has to coordinate with PR to align announcements with content goals. They need to be swapping audience insights and high-converting keywords with the paid media folks. They should be partnering with social to repurpose your long-form content into snappy threads and videos, and they absolutely must collaborate with product marketing to get those pages optimized with schema well before a launch even happens.
This quote right here, it really hits the nail on the head for today's takeaway. Yes, the tools are completely different. The surfaces where we appear are different. Zero-click is basically the new normal, but adapting to user intent with genuinely useful, authoritative content, that is still your absolute North Star. You have to build the kind of brand presence that just naturally earns those citations.
So I'm going to leave you with this one provocative thought as you go rethink your strategy today. In a world where AI is rapidly becoming the actual front door to the internet, handling all our research, our comparisons, our purchasing, if AI can't find you, will customers? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and good luck optimizing out there.